Namaskaram, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I welcome one and all of you to the fourth day of Samprekshana 2022, Harmony Through Art, the art of seeing art. We begin this session with Amrithasri, a PG student's project presentation. As part of the student curriculum, we at Kalakshetra have a project submission in the fourth year for the diploma course in the fourth year at RDCFA Kalakshetra Foundation. And today, Amrithasri, a PG first year student who completed her course last year, will be talking about her project, Dance and Therapeutic Exercises as a Remedy for Arthritis. To build the confidence and as a source of motivation, we at Kalakshetra have been encouraging the students to do their project as part of the Samprekshana and do a presentation about it. Presenting to you, Dance and Therapeutic Exercises as a Remedy for Arthritis by Amrithasri, a postgraduate first-year dance student. Happy to share that she was the one who scored the highest marks in the last year project session.
Namaskaram, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. At the outset, I would like to thank Kalakshetra Foundation for having given me this opportunity, our director, our principal, head of departments, and all the teachers and friends who have helped me and supported me through this journey and for me to finish this project successfully. I would also like to specially mention Professor Raghupathy sir, who entrusted me with this topic and also helped me through the process of completing my project. I always knew at the back of my head that I wanted to do my project involving two of the fields of study that I'm most fond of, which is science and dance. So this particular topic, dance and therapeutic exercises as a remedy for arthritis, worked out perfectly for two reasons. Firstly, because the entire process of me completing the project would be very enjoyable, because these are the two fields of study that I adore most. And secondly, because it will also challenge me, because in recent years there have not been much study about dance as a therapy in particular with regard to arthritis, and the entire system is still under development. So that is what challenged me, and I took it up as a challenge to choose this particular topic. Before we get into the crux of my dissertation, I thought that it's important to establish in just a few words as to what exactly arthritis is. So arthritis is not merely a wear and tear of joints or an old man's disease as people think it is. It's much more than that. Arthritis is basically a joint disorder that involves inflammation. There are over 200 types of arthritis, believe it or not, and most of the joints in our body, the place where two bones meet, the joints are filled with a thick capsule, and they contain connective tissue called cartilage. And when that cartilage deteriorates and inflames, that's what leads to arthritis. There are many types of arthritis, like osteoarthritis, that is essentially when the cartilage in those joints are no longer present, which leads to pain and inflammation. And also arthritis like rheumatoid arthritis, that is more genetic, where the immune system attacks the own muscles and bones in your body. Arthritis can make life tough by causing pain and making it extremely hard to do day-to-day activities, like something as simple as holding a mug or standing in kitchen for long hours to cook a meal. So there is no definite cure for arthritis, but when I talk about a remedy for arthritis, my idea is to make life better with arthritis and make a person more comfortable in accepting what they have, because a complete cure is still not discovered as of today. In my dissertation, I will be focusing on osteoarthritis, that is OA as it is commonly called. It is the most common form of arthritis. As I said, it destroys the coating on the ends of the bone. And while listing of sports, many people would raise an eyebrow when a person mentions dance. He'll be like, oh really, is dance a sport? But dance demands the same amount of physical, rigorous training and hours of practice every day over long years to get to, I shouldn't say perfect, but better the skill that you're learning over a long time. So if I were to ask all of you with show of hands as to how many of you have experienced drastic knee pain throughout your dance journey, I am sure how many of you have experienced drastic knee pain when you have in your dance journey? Yes, I can see a lot of hands in the audience. So this is where I would like to establish that not all knee pain is arthritis. I am not here to scare all of you. Arthritis is one of the disorders that can arise from knee pain. Not all degenerative changes in the joints lead to arthritis. You can all relax. Degenerative changes happen due to many reasons. How people carry themselves, maybe the way you drive your car or the way your lifestyle could be different, and that could lead to arthritis. So dance is not the main cause of arthritis. If somebody tells you so, don't listen to them, keep dancing. Osteoarthritis is not genetic. It is due to habits and lifestyle of an individual. So when it comes to treatment of osteoarthritis, many individuals fear that when they are put into physical treatment and when they're asked to move their body more, when they're already in pain, they think, how is this going to help me? Shouldn't I lie down on a bed and do something else? No. When your musculoskeletal body is so used to physical activity, and when you suddenly stop that physical activity, it is actually detrimental to your bones and muscles of your body. So physical treatment is actually really helpful for osteoarthritis, and there are a lot of researches that show that it has been beneficial both physically, psychologically, and there is good evidence that exercises can reduce the pain in the hips and knee joint especially of the body, and it improves the reduced muscle strength, balance and gait patterns of a person. But most importantly, when there is therapy involved, a person's willingness to change is what makes the difference. You can go through all the therapy that you want, but if you're not willing to change and make that change for your body and for the betterment of your living, it's not going to work. This is where dance can be a very essential tool as a therapeutic agent, because as we all know, dance brings out a lot of emotions when used as therapy. It can make the rainiest day full of sunshine like today. If dance is involved, it can make all of us really happy. So that's where dance therapy is really important. So I focused on 3 stages in my dissertation when it comes to arthritis: the preventive stage, the curative stage, and a later stage of a dancer's life, or also any non-dancer who's suffering from arthritis. So let's quickly get into the stages. The preventive stage talks about how a dancer in their early years can be careful and can prevent knee injury by knowing the anatomy of one's body and how the muscles and the joints work, how to correctly do their movements with no forced turnouts, or, all of us are taught to spread out our feet or spread out our knee, but in fact we should spread out our hips to comfortably sit in Aramandi. So these techniques must be well understood by the person to prevent joint pain. And now moving on to the curative stage, when dance therapy is done for non-dancers who are suffering from arthritis, it is very important that we don't immediately push them into complicated movements like, say, such a kuttanam or a murumandi. You have to start easy with probably movements that involve a prenkanam or a aramandi, and movements like Tate Teta or Natadavu, where the Prenkanam and Preritam and Aramandi, these positions, they mimic very general stretches of the leg. If you think about it, the Prenkanam, where we stretch our leg forward, is the most basic calf muscle stretch. All of us learn it also in our fitness classes. And all the movements of the Tate Teta Adavu, they all have dance movements that stretch both our thighs and calf muscles. So for a non-dancer who's just beginning out and who wants to enjoy their therapy, such adavus will be so beneficial for them. And for somebody who's having arthritis of the hands and who can't hold a mug, it will be great for them to teach them to lift their hands and bring them to different mudras, take it up, take it down. All these will make it so much interesting for them, but still making their fingers and their wrist work in order to cure their pain. And you can make it even the more interesting by including beats or cholukattas or music to these aspects. If I have to say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it's going to become more exciting and more, the person will be more involved and excited to do something new, but still unknowingly it is helping them. So that is the idea in the curative stage. And I have similarly mentioned many exercises and dance movements that mimic each other for the benefit of the neck, upper body, ankle, toes. I'm not getting into the details of it. Now to talk about the last stage of my dissertation, which is the later life. So for retired dancers who are not in practice of dancing at the moment, but who have danced for all their lives and now who are much older and in their later life, they are facing symptoms of arthritis. For them, it is so easy to do that dance therapy at a much lighter level at their comfort because of something that is called muscle memory. We don't acknowledge the power of muscle memory. Even our mind might forget. We might not remember how to do a particular step or a movement, but it just amazes me as to how our body remembers. So for people in the later stage, when they have to get into dance therapy, the muscle memory is just fantastic as they can rightly adapt their body into doing simple movements which will make them happier and which will keep their life at ease but still benefit them from the pain. And for old people who have not been dancers, probably restricted to wheelchairs or who are bedridden, for them as well, dance and music therapy is very useful as they can use just their upper body, their arms, or when they are lying in their bed, they can do muscle contractions. That will be really helpful. So it's not that you have to completely dance. Dance therapy, that's the beauty of it. It adapts to the individual and the situation. It can vary. And this is the 3 stages that I had to bring through to you, and it's explained in much more detail in my dissertation, but this is just a short summary. I have understood that paying attention to your body can do wonders, and I feel that there is so much more to be discovered with these 2 stages when they come together. This dissertation is only my small contribution in this field, and I hope that I can work more in it, and all of you will be more interested to know what I do in the future. I would again like to thank Kalakshetra Foundation for having given me this opportunity. I would fail in my duty if I don't thank our librarians, Srimati Alamelu and Srimati Bhuvaneshwari, the doctors who helped shed light on all the scientific facts of my dissertation, Dr. Sugavanam and Dr. Prabhu Shankar, and my family for relentlessly listening to me talk about degeneration of bones for hours on end. And finally, I would like to offer my thanks to Almighty for blessing me with this opportunity. Namaskaram.
Thank you, Amrithasri, for giving us an insight on arthritis and means of taking care of our body to prevent joint pain and ensure that dancers are healthy to have a prolonged performing life. You have very articulately presented it. Congratulations, Amrithasri. Request our director, Srimati Revathi Ramachandran, to felicitate Amrithasri. The next presentation in this session is Svātmānubhava, the inner experience featuring the dance gurus, the icons, the legends, and exemplary artists. The first session will be by Srimati Chitra Visweswaran. Very shortly about her, Srimati Chitra Visweswaran is an eminent dancer, intuitive teacher, choreographer, composer, and lyricist, as well as a scholar, thinker, and seeker. She has able grasp in the field of Carnatic music, Western ballet, Manipuri, Kathak, Rabindra Nritya, Rabindra Sangeet, and theatre. She specializes in the Thanjavur Bani under the tutelage of Devadasi Srimati T.A. Rajalakshmi, and in the Bani under the doyen Vazhuvur Sri Ramaya Pillai. She has presented her work in solo and group in several prestigious venues and festivals, including United Nations, UNESCO, and Festivals of India in USA, and many more such places. She serves as a trustee and has served on the panel of the governing councils, assemblies, and expert committees of several Government of India and private organizations such as Kalakshetra Foundation, Ministry of Culture, South Zone Cultural Center. She is a member of the General Assembly of ICCR. She has served as a member secretary, Tamil Nadu Iyalisai Nadaga Mandram, Tamil Nadu's Academy of Art and Culture. Chitra Visweswaran and her husband, Sri Visweswaran, established Chidambaram Academy of Performing Arts in 1974. Very, very happy and honored to have such a legend in our presence today doing her presentation. Let us put our hands together and welcome the legend.
Before we go on to this session of 4 stalwarts, legendary dancers who are going to be presenting here today, it was all started like I wanted them initially to share like their experience. This was a Svātmānubhava, what they have experienced, how they have an harmony in their inner self, and which they brought out through their dance. As our chairperson had mentioned in his inaugural address, dance is beyond, any art form is beyond just mere presentation or sensory factors, and it goes to a different level. And that is what they have experienced in so many years of their immersion into an art form where they have attained dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, the 4 purusharthas. And they are standing examples to all of us and we have with us, we have our institution's founder, Rukmini Devi Arundale, who is also a standing example for such development. And so this is what I wanted them to share with us. But we are going to have the privilege of seeing them perform and how they have internalized the art form. And it goes beyond just physical attributes, and it's something to do with the self, with the person, and their union with the divine. So that is what is going to be presented here. I thank all of them profusely for having accepted to be here. It is indeed a privilege for all of us here to witness such a performance. We had a immensely beautiful performance, I think by Vaijayanti Mala Amma also, which was a similar thought process. And so now we have the 4 legendary artists who have agreed to come here and perform for us. Thanks to all of them and to their musicians. Thank you so much.
निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते बुद्धकृष्णाय। ॐ नमो भगवते बुद्धकृष्णाय। ॐ नमो भगवते मुक्तकृष्णाय। करचरणकृतं वा कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वापराधं विहितम् अविहितं वा सर्वमेतत् क्षमस्व जय जय करुणाब्धे श्रीमहादेव शम्भो। शम्भो महादेव 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 शरणं श्री कालदीश 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 शरणं श्री कालदीश शम्भो महादेवा संभवनु अन्बान मायवनु अम्बोज संभवनु अन्बान मायवनु अम्बोज संभवनु अन्बान मायवनु संभवनु अन्बान मायवनु अम्बोज संभवनु अन्बान मायवनु अम्बोज संभवनु अन्बान मायवनु अम्बोज संभवनु संभवनु अम्बोज संभवनु अम्बोज संभवनु अन्बान अन्बान मायवनु अन्बान मायवनु मायवनु अम्बोज संभवनु अन्बान मायवनु अम्बोज संभवनु அடிமுடி காண நெடுமலை வாண அடிமுடி காண நெடுமலை வாண அகில புவன பரிபால சகலவர குண விஷால சம்போ அடிமுடி காணா நேடுமலை வாண அகில புவன பரிபால சகலவர குண விஷால சம்போ மகாதேவ சரணம் ஸ்ரீ காலதீஷ சம்போ ஹரியேன் சின்னல் சிறியேன் பூனகனந்தம் தண்டனீட்டேன் ஹரியேன் சின்னல் சிறியேன் பூனகனந்தம் தண்டனீட்டேன் அபராதங்கள் முழுதும் க்ஷமித்தருள்வாய் கை கும்பிட்டேன் அபராதங்கள் முழுதும் க்ஷமித்தருள்வாய் கை கும்பிட்டேன் பரிவாய் உன் சொல் கனவில் கொண்டு பிழைக்கும் வழி தொட்டேன் நம சிவாய நம சிவாய நம சிவாய நம சிவாய பரிவாய் உன் சொல் கனவில் கொண்டு பிழைக்கும் வழி தொட்டே பேதையாகினும் பாதோ பணியும் என் பெருகிய பவவினை தீரும் குரு பரனை கருணை கண்பார சம்போ பேதையாகினும் உன் பாதோ பணியும் என் பெருகிய பவவினை தீரும் குரு பரனை கருணை கண்பார சம்போ மகாதேவ சரணம் ஸ்ரீ காலதீஷ சம்போ மகாதேவ சரணம் ஸ்ரீ காலதீஷ சம்போ மகாதேவா शंभो வடிவேல் முருகேசன் ஒரு நாளறியா பருவமதில் என்னை ஆலிங்கனம் செய்தார். ஒரு நாளறியா பருவமதில் என்னை ஆலிங்கனம் செய்தார். ஒரு நாளறியா பருவமதில் என்னை ஆலிங்கனம் செய்தார். அறியா பருவம் அறியா பருவம் கனம் செய்தார். ஒரு நாளறியா பருவமதில் லிங்கனம் செய்தார். ஒரு நாளறியா பருவமதில் லிங்கனம் செய்தார். அறியா பருவம் அறியா பருவம் அறியா பருவம் ஆலிங்கனம் ஆலிங்கனம் அறியா பருவம் 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 அறியா பருவம் அறியா பருவம் ஆலிங்கனம் ஆலிங்கனம் அறியா பருவம் அறியா பருவம் அறியா பருவம் ஆலிங்கனம் ஆலிங்கனம் அறியா பருவம் அறியா பருவம் அறியா பருவமதில் என்னை ஆலிங்கனம் செய்தார். மறவாதவராசை என் மேல் மனதில் வளருதடி. மறவாதவராசை என் மேல் மனதில் வளருதடி. சகியே மறவாதவராசை சகியே மயில் மீதேறி வரும் வீரன் வடிவேல் முருகேசன் மயில் மீதேறி வரும் வீரன் வடிவேல் முருகேசன் முருகா முருகா என்றால் உருகாது எந்தன் உள்ளம் 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 வருவாய் வருவாய் என்றால் பரிவோடு வாராயோ வருவாய் வருவாய் என்றால் பரிவோடு வாராயோ மறவாதவராசை மேல் மனதில் வளரடி சகியே மறவாதவராசை என் மேல் மனதில் வளரடி சகியே மயில் மீதேறி வரும் வீரன் வடிவேல் முருகேசன் ஒரு நாளறியா பருவமதில் அறியாது நான் செய்த பிழையால் நீ வெறுத்தாயோ அன்பே வடிவம் கொண்ட அழகா நீ சினல்காயோ அறியாது நான் செய்த பிழையால் நீ வெறுத்தாயோ அன்பே வடிவம் கொண்ட அழகா நீ சினல்காயோ அழகா 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 நீ சினந்தாயோ வடிவம் கொண்ட அழகா நீ சினந்தாயோ சிறியேன் என் குறையெல்லாம் பொறுத்தே அருள் செய்வாய் சிறியேன் என் குறையெல்லாம் பொறுத்தே அருள் செய்வாய் செந்தில் மாநகர் வாழும் தேவாதி தேவனே செந்தில் மாநகர் வாழும் தேவாதி தேவனே முருகா ஷண்முகா வடிவேலா பக்த ஹிருதயவாசா भक्त हृदय वास भक्त हृदय वास
Thank you, Akka. We have all been really transported to a different and serene space through her soulful dance. The bhakti or the shringara and all these expressions, I think, were experienced by all of us. May I request our director and chairman to please come onto the stage to felicitate Srimati Chitra Visweswaran. The accompanying artists for Chitraka were on the Nattuangam, Srimati Sukanya Ravinder, vocal, Sri Murali Parthasarathi, Mridangam, Sri Jagadish Janardhanan, flute, Sri Tyagarajan, violin, Sri Lakshmi Venkataramani. And on the lights, Sri Anand. Thank you, Akka. The next artist, the legend, who will be presenting us today is Dr. Padma Subrahmanyam. Dr. Padma Subrahmanyam is a rare combination of a dancer, a research scholar, a choreographer, singer, music composer, teacher, author, and an Indologist. She has a master's degree in ethnomusicology, and her PhD thesis is on Karanas in Indian dance and sculpture. Dr. Padma is the president of Nrityodaya, the dance school founded by her father in the year 1942. She is also the managing trustee of the Bharata Ilango Foundation for Asian Culture, which is a pan-Asian research center on performing arts and aims to be the Asian cultural corridor for artists and philosophers to interact. She is a member of the expert committee, the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, and a member of the expert committee and general council of the ICCR, the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. She is the program director conducted by Nrityodaya for Shastra University. Her several awards include Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, the Academy Ratna Fellow from the President of India, the Sangeet Natak Academy Award, the Kalidas Samman from the Government of Madhya Pradesh, the Kalaimamani and the State Artist Awards from the Government of Tamil Nadu. Dr. Padma is the only classical dancer in the world to receive the prestigious Fukuoka Asian Cultural Prize from Japan. She is also the first recipient of the title of Natyakala Acharya from the Music Academy, Chennai. Please welcome the legend Dr. Padma Subrahmanyam to the stage to share her Svātmānubhava, the inner experience of an artist. Today, she will be accompanied on the Nattuangam and vocal by Dr. Gayatri Kannan. On the Mridangam, Sri Nagai P. Sriram. And on the flute, Sri C.K. Patanjali. Over to the legend, Dr. Padma Subrahmanyam.
Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Well, I would first like to thank Revathi Ramchandran, Director Kalakshetra, for having invited me to join the stars of Bharatanatyam and give you a small demo. I'm happy to see Chairman and Malaji here. Sri Janardhan, all the greats who are sitting here, and my dear young students. Nothing can give me greater joy than to share a little of what I know. By sharing, I gain. This is what all our Shastras say. Revathi has asked me to give you a demo of self-experience in Abhinaya. It's a major topic, Svātmānubhava, not an easy one. Children just learn the Angika aspect of dance. They make sure that the technique is perfect, the hastas, the adavas, even the eye movements, even the eyeball movements, eyebrow movements, all that are part of the Shastric training for the body. But one Abhinaya, that is Sattvika Abhinaya, cannot be taught. It has to be felt. It's like saying you take the horse to the pond, but you can't drink the water. The Sattvika Abhinaya has to be felt by the artist, and it is very true of music also. Music can be very perfect technically, but when it comes from the voice of Ms.Lakshmi or Malaji, it is just not the voice, but it is a soul. This is what we should not miss in dance. So the sattva, which has many dimensions of meaning. Very simple meaning is, well, it is related to the mind, but it takes you to very spiritual heights. For instance, sattva guna, the three gunas, sattva is the best. Satvikam Shivam. In our first shloka that we learned from Abhinaya Darpanam, we say Satvikam Shivam. I bow to that Lord Shiva who is Sattva himself. And that Sattva is so important, my dear youngsters, even for adavas. If you don't enjoy your dance, my dear children, the audience will also suffer. Every movement that you perform has to come not only from your body, but it should come from your mind, and even that is not enough, it has to come from your soul. Only then you have that great well-known shloka, yato hastattato drishti, yato drishtistato manaha, yato manastato bhava, yato bhavastato rasa. So it's a, what should I say, you start in the first standard, then go on, finish school final, then go to masters and then PhD. It is like that. Rasanubhava is the ultimate goal. And for that Rasanubhava, what is necessary is the mental involvement of the artist. The artist has to understand the lyrics, must understand the lyrics from the point of view of the poet who wrote. Your interpretation is something else. I heard the other day one in a lecture saying, it was something like this. It's a very modern concept. Sita, it seems, said to herself, I would have preferred Ravana for Rama. How sacrilegious. Is that the concept of Sita that Valmiki gave us, or Kamban gave us, or Eluthachan gave us in Malayalam? Or Kritivasi Ramayana? In any Ramayana, is that the character of Sita? The Shringara of Sita is different from Shringara of Rukmini. Rukmini dared to write a love letter, the very first love letter in the world of literature. She wrote a love letter to Krishna. But Sita was a very different character. Why I'm saying this is, each character has to be understood and performed, whether it is a padam or whether you're part of a dance drama. And Shringara is of different levels. You have Uttama Shringara, Madhyama Shringara, Adhama Shringara, Vulgar Shringara. Everything is Shringara. I'll just show you Krishna Ni Begane Baro in 3 ways. Krishna Ni Begane Baro is not Shringara. Originally, it was meant to be Vatsalya Bhakti. It is addressed by Vyasaraya. It's not Purandaradasa, but Vyasaraya wrote the composition. And it's on Udupi Krishna, Krishna as a baby. And you can't have... கொஞ்சம் பாடேன் காயத்ரி. 3 விதமாக பண்ணுறேன் Krishna Ni Begane. வெறும் just the Pallavi alone. Krishna Ni Begane Baro as Shringara, Uttama Shringara.
Krishna Ni Begane Baro, Krishna Ni Begane Baro, Krishna.
Now, please keep this open. I don't know when I'll come to the mic. Krishna, the baby, the original way in which the composer wrote. Children, the looking position will be different. It's not Krishna of your height, but it is little Krishna there.
Krishna Ni Begane Baro, Krishna Ni.
The artist, the dancer must become Yashoda. Only then that Vatsalya Bhakti will be there. You have to imagine the little brat there. Only then you will have all the right to hold him, hit him, kiss him. If you become Yashoda, there is no limit. If you become Gopi, yes, it's a different level. But if you're going to be somebody who is performing Krishna Ni Begane Baro to give a vicarious satisfaction to some Krishna in the audience, it will be like this.
Krishna Ni Begane Baro.
Well, with this introduction, I'll do a small, an abridged version of a special padam that Dr. Balamurali Krishna composed for me. It was long ago when my father died. We all went to Hyderabad where Dr. Balamurali Krishna was unveiling the portrait of my father. And when we were traveling, Balamurali Anna said, I'm composing a special song for the occasion. I want Shamla to sing that. So my sister-in-law, Shamla Mani, wrote down, she sang this. And for those who are interested in the theory of it, it is among the Ashtanayikas, it will be Proshada Padrika, where the Nayika is very happy to have the Nayaka right next to her.
మరులు మించేరా ఇక నిన్న బిడనాడలేదా మరులు మించేరా ఇక నిన్న బిడనాడలేదా రారా మరులు మించేరా విడిసిన సుమమా కురిసిన వెల్నేల మరల వచ్చేదానని మరల వచ్చేదానని తరలిపో పోగురా రారా మరులు మించేరా కన్నుల కరబు తీరను కని నిండ నీరూపు మిన్నూల చింతేను మిన్నూల చింతేను మరియానందమూరా రారా మరులు మించేరా ఇక నిన్న వీడనాడలేదా రారా మరులు మించేరా
When Shringara is vulgarized, it becomes hasya. That's exactly what happens in Shurpanaka's Shringara. Shurpanaka is a Rakshasi. And when I did Ramaya Tubhyam Namaha as solo, taking all the characters from Ramayana in 5 different languages, I inaugurated this for Chinmaya Mission, and Swami Chinmayananda was there. He told me, It's a beautiful program, but it's very heavy. You must include hasya. Only when hasya is included, the cycle is complete. And he suggested that I should take up, he showed me the verses from Tunchat Ezhuthachan's Ramayana in Malayalam and chose the verses for me. And Dr. S.K. Nair, a very great Malayalam, Sanskrit and Tamil scholar and a poet who was heading the Department of Malayalam in Madras University, guided me in understanding these verses. And I'll perform, again, I won't repeat any line, I'll make it as short as possible. This is Ezhuthachan Ramayanam, Shurpanaka episode, how Rama and Lakshmana are using Shurpanaka like a ping pong ball. She goes to one brother and that brother says, not me, you choose the other brother, go to him. He's better. I have Sita, but poor Lakshmana doesn't have a wife. You go. And then she goes there, here, everywhere. And in that, when she's tossed, she becomes a bundle of emotions and her true self comes out. She is no more that beautiful, so-called beautiful romantic lady. It was, well, that's a different romance. Romantic lady, but her true self, she turns a Rakshasi, and she is, of course, defaced by Lakshmana, and she runs from the forest scene, and then she is responsible for the entire Ramayana after that. So, Ezhuthachan says, this Shurpanaka came into the forest and she fell in love with the footprints of Rama. She saw the footprints and she followed it and reached the Rama Ashramam, and she was very disappointed and very jealous of Sita because Rama is seen with Sita, and then she changes her attire and she tries to copy Sita. Copy is only copy.
Kamarupini Kandai Kamarupini Kandai Kamini Vimohini Kamarupini Kandai Padangal Adu Neram Kandai Bhangi Tedidum Padangal Adu Neram Kandai Pankaja Dhwaja Kulisha Kusha Ankitangalai Bhangi Tedidum Padangal Adu Neram Kandai Saundaryam Kandu Mohitayakayale Kautukamul Kondu Ramashramam Agam Pukal Kamarupini Kandar Kandar வாணிடுன்னது கண்டு மீனகேதன பாண பீடிதையாயாள் நீட்டம் சுந்தர வேஷத்தோடு சுந்தர வேஷத்தோடும் സുന്ദര വേഷത്തോടും സുന്ദര വേഷത്തോടും സുന്ദര വേഷത്തോടും മന്ദഹാസവും പൊഴിഞ്ഞ് സുന്ദര വേഷത്തോടും മന്ദഹാസവും പൊഴിഞ്ഞ് ഇന്ദിരവരനോട് മന്ദമായുര ചെയ്ത ആരടോ ഭവാൻ ചൊല്ലിട് ആരുടെ പുത്രനേനും ആരടോ ഭവാൻ ചൊല്ലിട് ആരുടെ പുത്രനേനും എന്നുടെ പരമാർത്ഥം മുന്നേ ഞാൻ പരന്നിടാം. രാക്ഷസേശ്വരനായ രാവണ ഭഗിനി ഞാൻ രാക്ഷസേശ്വരനായ രാവണ ഭഗിനി ഞാൻ ഓ ആഖ്യയാ ശൂർപ്പനഖ കാമരൂപിണി അല്ലോ ആരടോ ഭവാൻ ചൊല്ലിട് ആരുടെ പുത്രനേനും സുന്ദരീ 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 കേട്ടുകൊള്ളുക ജ്ഞാനയോധ്യാധിപതി നന്ദനൻ ദാശരഥി രാമനല്ലോ നാമം എന്നുടെ ഭാര്യ ഇവൾ ജനകാത്മജ സീതാ ധന്യേ മദ്ഭ്രാതാവായ ലക്ഷ്മണനിവനടോ എന്നാൽ എന്തൊരു കാര്യം നിനക്ക് മനോഹരേ നിന്നുടെ മനോഗതം ചൊല്ലുക മടിയാതെ സുന്ദരീ സുന്ദരീ എന്നോട് നീ എന്നോട് നീ എന്നോട് കൂടെ പോന്ന് രമിച്ചിക്കൊള്ളേണം എന്നോട് നീ എന്നോട് നീ എന്നോട് കൂടെ പോന്ന് രമിച്ചിക്കൊള്ളേണം നിനയും പിരിഞ്ഞു പോവാൻ മമ ശക്തി പോരാ നിനയും പിരിഞ്ഞു പോവാൻ മമ ശക്തി പോരാ എന്നെ നീ പരിഗ്രഹിച്ചിടേനും മടിയാതെ നീ പരിഗ്രഹിച്ചിടേനും മടിയാതെ എന്നോട് നീ എന്നോട് നീ എന്നോട് കൂടെ പോന്ന് രമിച്ചിക്കൊള്ളേണം 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 ജാനകി തന്നെ കടാക്ഷിച്ച് പുഞ്ചിരിപ്പൂണ്ട് മാനവവീരൻ അവളോടരുൾ ചെയ്തിടിന ഞാനിഹതപ്പോധന വേഷവും ധരിച്ചോരു കാനനു തോറും നടിൽ നീടുന്ന സദാകാലം ജാനകിയാകുമിവൾ എന്നുടെ പത്നിയല്ലോ മാനസെ പാർത്താൽ വിടുങ്ങിടതൊന്ന് കൊള്ളും താപത്നിയോദ്ഭവ ദുഃഖം എത്രയും കഷ്ടം കഷ്ടം താപത്തെ സഹിപ്പതിന് ആളല്ല നീയുമടോ லக்ஷ்மணன் மம பிராதா சுந்தரன் மனோகரன் லக்ஷ்மி தேவிக்கு ஒக்கும் ஒக்கும் நீ எல்லாம் கொண்டும் மங்களசீலன் அனுரூபன் எத்தையும் நினக்கு அங்கு சின்ன நீ பரங்கிடுக வைகிடாதே வைகிடாதே. என்னது கேட்ட நேரம் சௌமித்ரி சமீபே போய் சொன்னவள பேட்சிச்சாள் பர்த்தாவாகென்ன தன்னை சொன்னவளோடு சிரிச்சு அவனும் புற செய்தான் என்னோடே பரமார்த்தம் நின்னோடு பரங்கிடாம் மன்னவனாய ராமன் தன்னுடைய தாசன் ஞானோ தன்யே நீ தாசியாவள் தக்கவள் அல்லையலோ சின்ன நீ சொல்லிடு அகிலேஸ்வரனாய் ராமன் தன்னோடு தவகுல ஷீலாதாரங்களெல்லாம் என்னால் அந்நேரம் தன்னே கைக்கொள்ளும் அல்லோ ராமன் நின்னே என்னால் அந்நேரம் தன்னே கைக்கொள்ளும் அல்லோ ராமன் நின்னே. தத்தடி தரிக்கிட தத்தண்ணி தரிக்கிட தச்சண்ணு தரிக்கிட தத்திம்மி தரிக்கிட தத்தரி தத்தண்ணு தச்சண்ணு தத்திம்மி கழங்குதோம் கிடதுக்கு தரிக்கிடதோம் ஒருத்தனாயால் அவனரிகே சுஷ்ருஷிப்பான் ஒருத்தி வேணும் அதினிவளுண்டு எனக்கிப்போள் ஒருத்தி வேணும் அவனே அதினாரென்னு திறனெறிக்கும் நேரம் இப்போள் நின்னையும் கண்டு கிட்டி வருத்தும் தெய்வம் ஒன்று கோதிச்சால் இனி நின்னை பறிச்சு கொள்ளும் அவர் இல்லா சம்சயமேதும் தெருக்கின்னினி காலம் கலங்கிடாதே செல்க கருத்தை கிரகிச்சிடும் கடுக்கன்னவனடு சின்ன நின்னபேட்சிச்சாள் ஆசையா பலதரம் சின்ன நின்னபேட்சிச்சாள் ஆசையா பலதரம் சின்ன நின்னபேட்சிச்சாள் ஆசையா பலதரம் சின்ன நின்னபேட்சிச்சாள் ஆசையா பலதரம் காமவும் ஆசாபங்கம் கொண்டு கோபவும் அதி பிரேமவும் ஆலாஸ்யவும் பூண்டு ராட்சசி அப்போல் மாயாரூபம் ஏற்பட்டு அஞ்சனசைலம் போலே காயாகாரவும் கோர தம்ஷ்டயும் கம்பம் உள்கொண்டு சீதாதேவியோடு எடுத்த போல் சம்பிரமத்தோடு ராமன் தடுத்து நிறுத்தும் நேரம் பாலகம் கண்டு சீகம் குதிச்சு சாடி வந்து வானுரையூறி காதும் முலையும் மூக்கும் எல்லாம் சேதிச்ச நேரம் அவள் அலறி முறையிட்ட நாதத்தே கொண்டு லோகமுக்க மாட்டலி கொண்டு நீல பர்வதத்திண்டே புகழில் நின்று சாடி நாளன்று வழிவரும் அருவியாறு போலே சோரையும் ஒலிப்பிச்சு காணராத்திரியப்போலே கோரையாம் நிஷாச்சரி வேகத்தில் நடக்கொண்டாள் கோரையாம் நிஷாச்சரி வேகத்தில் நடக்கொண்டாள் கோரையாம் நிஷாச்சரி வேகத்தில் நடக்கொண்டாள் வேகத்தில் நடக்கொண்டாள் வேகத்தில் நடக்கொண்டாள்.
just one more number. Well, Rama's devotees are ever indebted to Kalakshetra and Rukmani for having given us the series of Ramayana productions. If I don't perform something again from Ramayana, Atta will come and beat me. Well, Bhakti is the base for all our arts. Without Bhakti, Sangeeta Jnanamu Bhakti Vina, even Tyagaraja has sung. So without Bhakti, nothing is possible. And whatever may be the profession, it has to be offered to the Lord. This is what Bhagavad Gita says. Now, in Bhagavatam, when Prahlada comes home, the father asks him, "What did you learn?" He says that he learned about Navavida Bhakti. 9 ways of relating to the Lord. And I don't want to take time in explaining the 9. The 9 bhaktis were experienced. Revati wanted me to talk about experience. Now, the 9 types of bhakti was experienced by 9 characters in Ramayana. Bhakti towards Sri Rama. By merely hearing, Hanuman showed what it is to have bhakti, and his bhakti is all from the listening to such stories. It says, wherever Ramayana is recited or performed, somewhere in a corner, Hanumanji will be sitting there. We can't see, but Hanuman is there. So from that Shravana Bhakti, we proceed to the Atma Nivedana, where the life is sacrificed for Rama as seen in Jatayu. I don't want to explain. I'll make a quick few minutes of Navavida Bhakti performance based on a shloka in Sanskrit, but I've tuned it. This shloka is by an unknown author, and I must confess that I got this shloka from the great Bhakta, Puja Prema Pandurang. She and I were very close friends. She wanted me to perform this for her to see, but I'm going to perform this for you to see.
Shri Ramasya Katha स्मरणे सीता संस्मरणे सीता संस्मरणे स्मरणे सीता संस्मरणे स्मरणे सीता संस्मरणे तथैव भरत तथैव भरत तथैव भरतः तत्पादुका सेवने तथैव भरतः तत्पादुका सेवने अर्चायं शबरी 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 नसौ निशीचरो नतो निशीचरो नतो निशीचरो नतो निशीचरो नतो निशीचरो दास्य सुमित्रा सुतः दास्य सुमित्रा सुतः दास्य सुमित्रा सुतः सुमित्रा सुतः दास्य सुमित्रा सुतः दास्य सुमित्रा सुतः सखे सूर्य सुतो सखे सूर्य सुतो सखे सूर्य सुतो जटायु अभवत् सर्वस्वदेहा अर्पणे सनिधनि सरिगरिगा पमदपनिदमदपा सनिधनि सरिगरिगा पमदपनिदमदपा पदनिधनि मपदपद मापगा मपदनि सरि पदनिधनि मपदपद मापगा मपदनि सरि सनिधनि सरिगरिगा पमदपनिदमदपा पदनिधनि मपदपद मापगा मपदनि सरि जटायु अभवत् सर्व स्वदेहा अर्पणे श्रीरामस्य कथा
Thank you, Padwaka, for so eruditely explaining the importance of sattva in one's performance, or the difference in Shringara between Sita and Rukmini, or the mocking of Shurpanaka by Rama and Lakshmana. Your presentation today was truly lively, divine, and very informative. Thank you very much. May I request our chairman, Shri S. Ramadurai, and director, Revathi Ramachandran, to please come on to the dais to felicitate the artist. The next legend that we will be witnessing today is Professor Sudharani Raghupathy. Professor Sudharani Raghupathy is an eminent, established Bharatanatyam dancer. She trained under doyens such as Professor U.S. Krishna Rao, late K.P. Kittappa Pillai, and Mailapur Gauri Ammal. She trained in Carnatic music under Maestro Sri T. Chaudaya and Vidwan Madurai N. Krishnan. She is a graduate in philosophy and sociology from the University of Mysore and also the first Indian at Randolph-Macken's Women's College, USA. She has also documented the famous Arayar Sevai or Srivalli Puttur. The Sangeet Natak Academy has recorded the centuries-old Navasandhi Nritta performed by her. Her dance productions include Ramayana, Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum, Silapatikaram, to name a few. Laghu Bharatam, the handbook on Bharatanatyam, is a monumental contribution of Professor Sudharani Raghupathy to the world of fine arts. In 1970, Professor Sudharani Raghupathy founded Shri Bharatalaya, an institution for fine arts. Professor Sudharani has also served on the board of the Ministry of Culture. She has been on the executive committee of the Central Sangeet Natak Academy. She was one of the co-founders and president of Abhay. She is presently a member of the governing body of South Zone Cultural Center, Thanjavur, and experts committee of the Ministry of Culture. Her array of awards include Padma Shri from Central Sangeet Natak Academy Award and the Kalaimamani and Kalashri. Very, very heartwarming to share with all of you that this is her Diamond Jubilee year as an artist. She started her career in 1947 and counting. Presenting to you, Professor Sudharani Raghupathy. Today, she will be accompanied on the Nattuangam by Srimati Priya Murli, on vocal by Srimati Nandini Sharma Anand, Mridangam Shri M. Dhananjayan, and Veena Anjani Srinivasan. Over to Professor Sudharani Raghupathy.
Namaskaram, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. On behalf of Professor Sudharani Raghupathy, would like to thank Srimati Revathi Ramachandran, Director Kalakshetra, for this wonderful opportunity to perform before this august audience. Srimati Sudharani Raghupathy begins this morning of Margari with a Tirupallandu. One would see the shades of Arayar Seve, her research, in some of the gestures that she depicts. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Sudharani Raghupathy.
பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோட்டி நூறாயிரம் பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோட்டி நூறாயிரம் மல்லாண்டத்தின் தோள் மணிமணி நாவும் சேவடி செந்தி திறக்காப்பு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரடியோ பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரோ பல கோடி நூறாயிரம் பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு படியோ அடியோ ஆயிரம் பல்லாண்டு அடியோடும் நெல்லோடும் பிரிவின்றி ஆயிரம் பல்லாண்டு வடிவாய் வலமார்பினிலே வாழ்கின்ற மங்கையும் பல்லாண்டு வடிவாய் வலமார்பினிலே வாழ்கின்ற மங்கையும் பல்லாண்டு வடிவாய் சோதி வல்துறை சுடராடியோ வல்லாண்டு வடிவாய் சோதி வல்துறையோ சுடராடியோ வல்லாண்டு படைப்போர் பொக்கு முழங்கும் பாஞ்சசனியமும் பல்லாண்டு படைப்போர் பொக்கு முழங்கும் பாஞ்சஜனியவும் பல்லாண்டே பாஞ்சஜனியவும் பல்லாண்டே பாஞ்சஜனியவும் பல்லாண்டே
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. That was faith, benediction, the positivity. On and on, Janma after Janma. No end, no beginning. It just goes on. Palland, Palland. I'm always servile at your feet. That was what you saw. Now the mood changes, where I would like to share with you a Javali. There's no need for explanation, but here this Nayika had faith, but she was betrayed, and she's sad, but she realizes her mistake also. I leave the rest to your imagination. Geliyai ponadadi.
கேட்பவர்க்கும் பார்ப்பவர்க்கும் கேவலமாய் ஆனதடி கேலியாய் போனதடி தோழி கேட்பவர்க்கும் பார்ப்பவர்க்கும் கேவலமாய் ஆனதடி கேலியாய் போனதடி நான் தேடி போகும் முன்னே தான் தேடி வந்தானடி நான் ஓடி நிற்கையிலே நல்வாக்கு தந்தானடி நான் தேடி போகும் முன்னே தான் தேடி வந்தானடி நான் ஓடி நிற்கையிலே நல்வாக்கு தந்தானடி நான் தேடி போகும் முன்னே தான் தேடி வந்தானடி நான் ஓடி நிற்கையிலே நல்வாக்கு தந்தானடி நான் தேடி போகும் முன்னே தான் தேடி வந்தானடி நான் ஓடி நிற்கையிலே நல்வாக்கு தந்தானடி தேர்கூடி போத உள்ளம் திருடியே சென்றானடி சென்றானடி தேர்கூடி பூத்த உள்ளம் திருடியே சென்றானடி தெருவெல்லாம் சிரிக்க வைத்து தெருவெல்லாம் சிரிக்க வைத்து திரும்பாது சென்றானடி 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 கேலியாய் போனதடி திருவெல்லாம் சிரிக்க வைத்து திரும்பாது சென்றானடி திருவெல்லாம் சிரிக்க வைத்து திரும்பாது சென்றானடி தெருவெல்லாம் சிரிக்க வைத்து திரும்பாது சென்றானடி தெருவெல்லாம் சிரிக்க வைத்து திரும்பாது சென்றானடி தெருவெல்லாம் சிரிக்க வைத்து திரும்பாது சென்றானடி கேலியாய் போனதடி தோழி கேட்பவர்க்கும் பார்ப்பவர்க்கும் கேவலமாய் ஆனதடி கேலியாய் போனதடி தோழி கேட்பவர்க்கும் பார்ப்பவர்க்கும் கேவலமாய் ஆனதடி கேலியாய் போனதடி தோழி கேலியாய் போனதடி தோழி கேலியாய் போனதடி 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 श्याम हरि तुम हम मिले श्याम हरि चलिए कुंजनमु चलिए कुंजनमु तुम हम मिले श्याम हरि 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 चलिए कुंजनमु छोड़िए कैसे मोह में तो तेरो हाथ धरी छोड़िए कैसे मोह में तो तेरो हाथ धरी छोड़िए कैसे मोह में तो तेरो हाथ धरी हरे हाथ तेरो हाथ धरी छोड़ी कैसे मोह में दो तेरो हाथ धरी छोड़िए कैसे मोह में तो तेरो हाथ धरी 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 छोड़िए कैसे मोह में दो तेरो हाथ धरी छोड़िए कैसे मोह में तो तेरो हाथ धरी तेरो हाथ धरी तेरो हाथ धरी छोड़िए कैसे मोह में दो तेरो हाथ धरी छोड़िए कैसे मोह में दो तेरो शृङ्गौ तव करकमलवरे केशव नखमद्भुत शृङ्गौ तडितकिरण्य कशिपूतनु तडितकिरण्य कशिपूतनु तडितकिरण्य कशिपूतनु तडितकिरण्य कशिपूतनु केशवाकृत नरहरिरूप केशवाकृत नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे केशवाकृत नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश मनसञ्चलं अगलू मनसञ्चलं अगलुं मलं अगलुं नलं निगडू मङ्गलं मरुळु हरि 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 अनैतुं हरि हरि अरन्नर अरन्नर अनैतुं मर अनैतुं मर अनैतुं मर
An emotional presentation today. He just transformed us from bhakti to Sringara and back to bhakti. I think that is the dancer in her which made it totally enjoyable and soulful for all of us. Now I request our director, Srimati Revati Ramachandran, our chairman, Shri S. Ramadurai, to please felicitate Srimati Sudharani Raghupathy. The next presentation is by another legend, Ms.Lakshmi Viswanathan. Ms.Lakshmi Viswanathan, a senior guru and a dancer of Bharatanatyam, specialized in the Tanjavur tradition under Guru Kanjivaram Illappa. She has received the Tagore Fellowship from the Government of India to research Tanjavur Natyam under Kalakshetra Foundation. Srimati Lakshmi Viswanathan has been the Vice President of the Music Academy, and her writings are widely read and keenly followed. She has presented lectures at prestigious events like the ARTH Conclave in New Delhi and the Bangalore Literature Festival. In the United States of America, Srimati Lakshmi Viswanathan has danced at the famous Jacob's Pillow Dance Festival, but has been an expert lecturer at the Festival of India in New York. She has also conducted workshops in various centers, including Wesleyan University, Peabody Essex Museum in Boston, and Utsav Festival at the Kennedy Center. Her array of awards and titles include Nritya Chudamani, Sangeet Natak Academy Award, the Kalidas Samman Award, and Nritya Kalanidhi. She is the author of 4 books, Bharatanatyam, the Tamil Heritage, a biography of Ms. Subbulakshmi, Kapalishwara Temple, and Women of Pride, the Devadasi Heritage. Besides, she is the editor of Kalakshetra Foundation's journals. We're very, very happy to welcome Srimati Lakshmi Viswanathan for her presentation. Today, she will be accompanied on the Natvangam by Srimati Sudarshini, on vocal by Srimati Bama Visweswaran, Mridangam Sri Sivaprasad, violin Srimati Sri Lakshmi. Over to Srimati Lakshmi Viswanathan for her presentation.
Namaskaram to all of you. Namaskaram to all of you. It is indeed a privilege to be part of this rather exotic morning with 4 artists of my generation. Revati Ramachandran has many new ideas, and this is one of them, but she's also a naughty girl, giving us 25 minutes each. We'll try and do our best. What I want to say about Kala Samprekshana, seeing art. As soon as I was born, my parents taught me to see and hear art. So apparently when my mother played the veena, I started dancing. So she thought she should be put in under a proper guru. So I've been following the Tanjavur tradition. Whenever I dance solo, I will do a Tanjore quartet Varnam. Wherever I dance, in Israel, in Milan, in Brussels, in America, it gives me an inner feeling of satisfaction and inspiration, because the Tanjore quartet Varnams, according to me, are the soul of Tanjavur Natyam. The raga, the bhava, the tala inspires me to dance even when I don't feel like dancing. I hear the music and in my heart I dance. That is actually the experience of art. Seeing is appreciating, seeing is understanding, seeing is knowing, and eventually seeing is Manodharma. Manodharma Natyam has been the backbone of my explorations in Bharatanatyam. The Tanjore quartet Varnams give scope for that, basically because there is raga bhava with very simple lyrics. The four brothers, and among them the most versatile being Shivanandam, lived in the palace, moved with other musicians, learned from Muthuswami Dikshitar, and were great friends of poets and naturars like themselves and young, beautiful dancers. So the beautiful dancers inspired them to compose songs specially for them to be premiered in front of the Maharaja. So here you have compositions which speak of Sringara. And as you all know, the king of rasas is Sringara, gives you scope for a lot of Manodharma. At the same time, the gurus were great bhaktas of Brihadishwara, so they had to bring in the lyrics itself, the fact that not only themselves, but the Maharaja himself is a great devotee of Shiva, Brihadishwara. So today I thought, in spite of the time limit, give you an excerpt of one of my favorite Varnams. I grew up with Todi, hearing Rajaratnam Pillai on a gramophone record, played by my mother every day. Then I learned music, Varnam in Todi, Era Napai. Then when I started learning Bharatanatyam, I learned the Tanjore quartet, Todi, Jatiswaram. So Todi has been going through my psyche at different ages until eventually Yellappa Vadyar taught me Danike Varnam. It is inimitable in its music. It's inimitable also in inspiration. Thank you. Water.
Nike
தக்க தத்திங்கண்ண துந்த த த ரி த த தண்ண த த ஜண்ணு த த திம்மி த த ரி த த தண்ண த த ஜண்ணு த த திம்மி த த ரி த த தண்ண த த ஜண்ணு த த திம்மி த த ரி த த தண்ண த த ஜண்ணு த த திம்மி த த ரி த த தண்ண த த ஜண்ணு த த திம்மி த த ரி த த தண்ண த த ஜண்ணு த த திம்மி த த ரி த த தண்ண த த ஜண்ணு த த திம்மி த ரி த தண்ண த ஜண்ணு த திம்மி த தக்க திக்கு த திங்கண்ண த தக்க திக்கு த திங்கண்ண த தக்க திக்கு த திங்கண்ண த நீ கே த கோஜ நீ பூர நீ கே த கோஜ நீ பூர நீ கே த கோஜ
கனுடை நஷி மஹரே முனி பூஜ்யம் சுமா நகனுடை 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 நஷி மஹரே முனி பூஜ்யம் கனுடை நஷி மஹரே முனி சுஷி நீரே நீவே சிவாஜி மஹாராஜேந்திர ஸ்ரீ நிதி நீவே சிவாஜி மஹாராஜேந்திர ஸ்ரீநிதி நீவே சிவாஜி மஹாராஜேந்திர ஸ்ரீநிதி நீவே சிவாஜி மஹாராஜேந்திர ஸ்ரீநிதி சிவாஜி மஹாராஜேந்திர ஸ்ரீநிதி நீவே சிவாஜி மஹாராஜேந்திர ஸ்ரீநிதி
Without being too modest, I would like to say that in my repertoire of what I call purely classical Bharatanatyam, I have used, actually I sat and counted, 63 composers, ranging from Manikavasakar, Tirunana Sambandar, Tirunavukarasar, Karaikal Ammayar, right up to Dharmapuri Subbarayar, Pattabhiramaya, the Javali composers. They are all close to my heart. The music, the lyrics, the subtext. You can dance to Manika Vasakar, but you have to know what's the philosophical subtext. So I've done a lot of research, and I tried to make my dance approachable to everybody. Not just the scholars or dance students, but even people abroad, schools, colleges, they understand. And they know that I come with this art from a very, very important, deep heritage. And I think it is very appropriate that we are talking about this, seeing art in this institution where Rukmini Devi, the great lady here, saw art, made it her own, and was generous enough to give it to everybody. Not all my dances are serious. I do playful javalis. And at the request of our director, I'm going to do Yantati Kuluke.
పరాభోజముకి వెనకినందుకు ఎంతటి కొలుగే ఇందిరో కాతునికి పూడెంతటి కొలుగే హొయలు మీరే వీరిలోన హొయలు మీరే వీరిలోన బయలు తేరినను చూచి హొయలు మీరే వీరిలోన బయలు తేరినను చూచి హొయలు మీరే వీరిలోన బయలు తేరినను చూచి బొయలు మీరే వీరిలోన బయలు తేరినను చూచి భయము లేక పాట పాడి భయము లేక పాట పాడి కళ్ళు సేక చేయునేటి భయము లేక పాట పాడి కళ్ళు సేక చేయినేటి ఎంతటి కొడుకే ఇందిరో కాతునికి పూడెంతటి కొడుకే మరబులేక నిన్నరే మరబులేక నిన్నరే దరపురేశుడైన స్వామి మరబులేక నిన్నరే దరపురేశుడైన స్వామి మరబులేక నిన్నరే దరపురేశుడైన స్వామి మరబులేక నిన్నరే దరపురేశుడైన స్వామి మరుని కేళి లోన నాతో మరుని కేళి లోన నాతో మాటలాడి తేమి తేగితే మరుని కేళి లోన నాతో మాటలాడి తేమి తేగితే ఎంతటి కొలుకే ఇందిరో కాతునికి పూడెంతటి కొలుకే ఎంతటి కొలుకే ఎంతటి కొలుకే
Thank you, Akka, for giving us an in-depth information about the Thanjavur Bani, and through your presentation today, you were truly inspiring and so informative and lively. May I request our director, Srimati Revathi Ramachandran, our chairman, Shri S. Ramadurai, to please felicitate our artist, Srimati Lakshmi Viswanathan. Today's session has been, I think, truly an exhilarating experience for all of us. Today, as we witnessed the legends performing through their dance, we got to know the nuances of how important expressions communicate more than words, and how dancing has no age or any barrier. Dance is a hidden language of the soul, and they have portrayed this language with so much of grace, sincerity, and commitment. This is a concept, I think, that inspires artists across generations, and showed the ample opportunities for them to take it up in the near future. Thank you so much, the legends who performed today, for motivating and uplifting our spirits this morning with your sublime performances. Thank you very much. The sessions of the seminar, we proceed on to the valedictory function, for which our director, Srimati Revathi Ramachandran, will be giving us a seminar report.
We just have about another 15 to 20 minutes when we will just wind up the whole session. At the very outset, I wish to mention that Dr. Sandhya Purecha, chairman of Sangeet Natak Academy, who was supposed to be here present today for the valedictory event, could not make it due to a sudden meeting at New Delhi. But I requested Srimati Lakshmi Viswanathan, who has been also coming for the programs through these 4 days of seminars. So I told her to just give a valedictory address, and she so readily agreed, and so I'm very grateful to her for that. I would like to present the report after we have had exhilarating 4-day learning and experience, I think, that we had for this Kala Samprekshana 2022, which was Harmony Through Art. Kala Samprekshana, the art of seeing art, and this was the 5th national seminar on performing and visual arts. We started these sessions with the inaugural address, which was given by our chairman, Shri Ramadurai sir, where he spoke about the relevance of dance in our cultural history. The bondage of the artist and the audience, he said, was highest, and it goes beyond sensory into the space of emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. And he also said that art is a form of service, and if we serve, we last. This is a very essence why great art and great artists leave behind a lasting impression on the society and are celebrated through generations, which was obvious in today's performance. And we have Rukmini Devi, I think, today, here with us. And the keynote address was given by Dr. Bharat Gupta on the confluence of ancient civilization in the aspects of spirituality. He called Raso Vai Saha as the Mahamantra of art, and that art leads one to divine. It is like a threshold which lights the room, and it lights also the pathway. We have an ancient culture that dates back to gods who were amongst us in flesh and blood. They were incarnation. And that was the reason he said that our culture is there for eternity, for we are able to experience this form of projection. And he also illustrated his ideas with examples from Greek and Indic civilizations. This was followed by a brilliant session by Vidushi Vishaka Hari, who spoke on Nada. She used Tyagaraja's kritis to connect the Nada within and the Dhvani around. Vidushi Vishaka also dwelled into how the production of Nada travels from the Nabhi to the Sahasra. The relation of the sensory perception to the elements was explained beautifully. Akasha's innate property, being sound, is always heard, and from it comes the Vayu, Agni, Jala, and the Prithvi. We then had the legendary session by the session by legendary Srimati Vaijayanti Bala Amma. She came onto stage with Ilan, and she sang and danced so gracefully and beautifully. Her delivery of the Husaini Padam, Eppadi Manam Tunindado, was extremely moving, I'm sure all of you will remember. And Kalakshetra, I think, was privileged for her to have a performance here, and of this great star who presented 4 pieces and culminated with the Krishna Karnamritam, which was beautiful indeed to watch, Kastvam Bala. I think it was the blessing of our founder up there that this session could happen, because it was with great hesitation that, of course, the people around her were quite worried, because she just turned 90 in the August of 2022. And that she performed here is, I think all the students have to really remember they witnessed the performance of someone with that heritage and who has been an icon of art here. Padma Shri Mattanur Shankaran Kuti, this is the second year's proceedings, with his troupe delineated the aspects of Chanda. He said that Chanda has 2 faces, that is, one is the Idantale and the Vadantale, and he said that one represented the Devavadya and the other was called Asuravadya, but he wished to call both as Devavadya, and he started with the Ganapati Kai, and he spoke about the aim of playing the Chanda, and also the Bhavam in playing are very important, and he also elaborated different Tala patterns in the Chanda playing technique, and he also put up a note to the institution asking that Chanda playing be also introduced as part of the training program at Kalakshetra, because the students are undergoing some training in the Kathakali style, and it would help them. So, and he also, it was we would look into that with chairman's guidance. We were very happy to have this great Vidwan with us after nearly, I think, more than 15 years since he had come to Kalakshetra. That was what he said. And so this was a very unique performance. Dr. Paulos, who spoke on Dhvani, imagination and imitation, traced the texts of aestheticians from Bharata, 2nd century BCE, to Anandavardhana, 9th century CE, and Kulasekara, 10th century CE. He spoke about Anukarana and Anukirtana, and also Dr. Paulos insisted that mimicry is not art, and that one needed elaboration and exaggeration for aesthetic appreciation from audience. And he also spoke about the difference between Abhida, mimicry, and Vyanjana, imaginative creation. This was followed by a session by Mavin Koo, who spoke on how to gain inner harmony through practice, which was demonstrated with methods of control of the body. The day 3 started with a talk by Sri Sriraman, who delineated the Chola frescoes of the Brihadishwara temple. Nuances that miss the untrained eye were pointed out, like the drapes of saris, the animals on the banyan tree, the facial expressions of the subjects of the painting, detailing of the elephant and horse in the Sundaramurti story, and the deer jolted out of the Shiva's hand. Sri Sriraman was kind enough to share his painstaking work spanning many years at the ASI with Kalakshetra. We thank him for his generosity. Sri Anish Rajan broke down ideas of nationalism and the role of spiritual implication for nationalist movements, drawing parallels from Partha Chatterjee's counter to imagined communities of Europe. He pointed out that the necessity to build states institutions and their role in promoting culture. though he did address pressing problems like the depleting percent of GDP that was slotted for culture and possible solutions that bureaucrats are trying to give for the upliftment, he also spoke on how other kendras under the Sangeet Natak Academy and governmental organization are proactively promoting the arts and unsung heroes and performances through their initiatives and through the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Mrs. Mala Dharai began her pertinent questions on what art is. She moved on to speak of the importance of art in and education and art in education in art. Srimati Mala elaborated on the convergence of art and education, which are in communication, sensory, mental, and intellectual stimulation. We had an interactive racking of our brains through interpretive nursery rhymes session that students thoroughly enjoyed. Srimati Malaji stressed in the importance of unity and how art brings this about in students and how even every celebration is incomplete without art. In Haripadman's talk on Madhura Bhakti, we saw women through history soaked in devotion, Sabari, Andal, and Radha. Haripadman spoke of how Madhura is from Madhurya, and the sthai of which is Karuna or Shoka, and Sringara Rati stemming from separation from the divine. Excerpts from Kalakshetra dramas and participation of senior gurus, including the stellar orchestra, embellished the lecture. And we had, with that, we finished the 3 days, and today's session, of course, was something which was most exhilarating. I think it was something which was beyond words that words can describe. And we were indeed very, very blessed to witness the Anubhava of the legends of dance this morning. Chitraka started our day by taking us on a yatra where we experienced Shiva and Muruga. Her portrayals are still etched in our minds now and forever. The six-faced Lord, the Dvishad Netra, Dvishad Bhuja were all beautifully brought forward. Then we had Paduka's transformations into characters so seamlessly from an iconic presentation of Ramaya Tubhyam Namaha. It was extremely enjoyable, and Paduka's transformation into the old Sabari to Jatayu while delineating the Navavida Bhakti was indeed something which I think each of these students should look at, like the way she started with Sabari as a young person and then going on to the older age. It was something amazing. Paduka reminded us of our goal as artists and students. We must move towards completely surrendering to Ishvara. Sudha Aunty, of course, took us through such relevant pieces which showed how traditional pieces can be adapted to the stage, with the first piece from the Divya Prabandham, the Pallanda in praise of Perumal. The Ashtapadi had a brilliant culmination with the Narasimha that gave us horripulations. Lakshmi Akka's explorations through Manodharma and Dhanike was laden with Rasa, Bhava, Manodharma. What we saw today cannot be learnt, it cannot be taught. It is purely Ishvara's grace that flows through these great practitioners' body that are like instruments to help us, the audience, understand the Supreme better. We thank them all and offer our namaskarams to the 4 legends whose performance this morning was something which I think a unique experience for me. I don't know about each and every one of you, but it was a unique experience for me. And we just see that age is just a number and skill is only not dance, but there is something more about this. Aristotle has said that the aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but the inward significance. I hope this conference has helped the students reflect inwards, and it's not just the lines or the stance, but there is something that is beyond the physicality of form and structure. Our founder Rukmini Devi has always said that art is something which is not separate from a person. It is something which the Indians were living and they grew up with. Every home was a piece of art. and is a piece of art. When you start from the kolam outside, the small prayer room which we have, and how we arrange the house. Every household becomes an expression of your art. And she said that this art is there in the women, and that was her main reason, that she wanted to preserve these women who are the custodians of art in our country and have been for many ages, and that we saw today with women performing with Atte, our founder, and everything. So this itself shows what importance is given to women in our political, social, and cultural aspects of our country. So this was the gist of the 4-day conference which we had, and I want to thank all of the people who have supported me, and I want to thank our chairman especially for his very kind support in being here for most of the sessions, and Mrs. Malaji also for being here, and of course Vasantaka has been there for all the sessions. And I want to thank Janardhanan sir, who has been a great support for us for all this thing, the principal of RDCFA, and we are very much happy that we will be concluding this seminar with a small valedictory note by Ms.Lakshmi. Thank you all. Namaskaram.
I've been given an extra duty to address this gathering. First of all, as a valedictory tribute, I would like all the students to give themselves a big applause. They have been attending this conference tirelessly and with great affection, listening to lectures, seeing programs, and I think at the end of this, they have become more harmonized with art. They are learning, but when they see different art forms, different experts speaking about it, and experiencing that every morning, I think something would have clicked in their mind and in their heart to keep it alive, because these conferences are not meant just for laypersons to while away their time. It is important that students attend these to enhance their appreciation. After all, harmony in art is achieved only by sensitivity. Srimati Rukmini Devi, in all her writings, and if some of you have the time, I would suggest that you borrow the books which are published and in the library here, where you can read every word that Srimati Rukmini Devi has written about art, her opinion, and her wise sayings. She has always said that art should be simple. And I think conferences like this make art more accessible to everybody. You sit here, you hear the explanations, and then you experience the essence of the art. It is not just one of those performances where you go and very indifferently watch whatever you're watching and concentrating more on the costume or the decor or even looking at your cell phone. So what I think we have achieved here today, thanks to the cooperation of many people, that is, each and every participant, and the lectures that I attended will stay with me, because I'm always a student. I'm learning something. I come to a lecture and I say, oh, this is something I did not hear before. For example, I've been to the Tanjavur Brihadishwara temple many times, and with special permission climbed up the ladder to see the murals, which you can do very rarely now, and admired the beauty of art painted as a mural 1,000 years ago. But our speaker yesterday brought pictures which were close-ups of each and every painting and details which I had not seen before. So this was something educational for me, that next time I go to Tanjavur, I will have to go and see it again with a different eye, because I've become wiser now. I didn't know that there were these startled monkeys on the trees in that mural. I didn't know that each and every character had a different expression, like the Shiva Ganas, for example. I didn't know also that when Shiva is dancing with the whole cosmic trembling, the man in his hand is looking this way, wondering where the sound is coming from. In my dance, I have used ideas like how when Shiva starts dancing, Parvati is very scared that little Muruga will get scared. So she's going like this with the child in her hip because she thinks the child might get scared looking at all these snakes dancing and Shiva dancing and the whole earth trembling. So you see, this is where art is so important for everybody, not only dancers, even musicians. Many musicians, for example, sing great songs without knowing the meaning. We dancers are very lucky because we cannot dance anything unless we know the meaning. So word by word, we know the meaning, then we read the subtext. After that, we bring our manodharma to play so that you become the sahridaya, the rasika. See, there are very different stages of appreciation. And Kala Samprekshana, as Revathi has been conceiving it for the last few years, has improved every year, made it more grand, I would say, more multifaceted and more informative, because conferences can be very boring. I'm sure many people have been to all kinds of conferences and slept through them. But here we found that each and every speaker was different from the other. There was no chance of your losing your concentration. And I think we have to appreciate the effort taken by each and every participant, because even I took a lot of effort practicing. It's not easy to suddenly do a Trikala Jati, so I couldn't sleep last night. But every speaker in this conference had prepared himself or herself to not just impress you, they were impressing themselves. It is very easy to get some applause and everybody leaves the hall and forgets what happened. But if the artist or the scholar is capable of impressing himself or herself, that knowledge is increased within them, it becomes a part of them. You cannot say that you've finished studying everything. You have written your PhD, therefore there is no more to learn. Most of the people who participated had learned something in order to share it with you. This sharing of knowledge, sharing of artistic information, sharing of rasa, making you a rasika, it's a monumental task. Rukmini Devi knew it. She has written in multiple articles about how ultimately the goal of art is divine. The divinity in art is what enhances your appreciation. Everything else you might forget, but the divine quality of art is something that impresses you, it consoles you in times of depression, it cheers you when you are already joyous, and it makes you remember that there is another power that is making artists create what they create on the stage. You can't say, I danced. Something in me danced. I don't know what I did on stage today. I will not be able to repeat it. But I know that there was an inspiration within me that made me do certain things almost unconsciously. Because, as Revathi knows, the next time I do the same items, it will look different because my Manodharma will be floating in some other direction. But the artists who presented papers were serious scholars, many of them, and some of them, in fact, are internationally well known. So we are fortunate in Kalakshetra to keep the legacy of Rukmini Devi alive because, as all of you know, she was the first global artist of India. She did not go via cinema or any other popular entertainment. With just classical dance and dance dramas based on Puranas. She went straight to Bhagavata Melam because she knew the Puranas were keeping that alive even in a humble village. And she had the aesthetics to change the costumes, to study the music, and take the best from that tradition, bring it to this stage as Kuravanchi Natyam or Usha Parinayam and various other dance dramas. But I must say at this point that a study for anybody who was planning to do a dance drama or even an excerpt of a dance drama, they have to sit and literally research the Ramayana series of Rukmini Devi. That is her greatest contribution to Indian art. And to this day, no choreographer, no teacher, no school has produced a 6-part Ramayana. She took her own time. I used to tell people, Shah Rukh Khan, the great actor, said it took me only 30 years to become famous. It is the same with Rukmini Devi. It took her 30 years to become famous. People thought that she was born famous. Actually, she became famous when she married an Englishman. But that was not the fame that she was looking for. She wanted to prove her artistic abilities, and the greatest soul of her artistic abilities is her sense of aesthetics. If you lose your sense of aesthetics, whatever you do on the stage, however entertaining you may be, it will be forgotten. People will not remember that. A combination of colors, an expression, a tilt of the head, a smile, every little detail of the Ramayana, Rukmini Devi had studied, and for her, it was not just presenting a dance drama. It was her tapas. That is why we have a statue outside as Rukmini Devi doing tapas. Art is tapas. Art is harmony. And the tapas leads to life's harmony. Because those of us who are performers, we know, and here there are gurus and artists sitting here in the front row, they will agree with me when I say that when we are practicing our dance or performing, we forget everything else. We are in a different plane of thinking. We are in some kind of a peaceful harmony with the universe. We are joyous. We see a little parrot and we think, look at that green. My next costume should be that color. So we are artistic by practice. Nobody is born talented. Talent is developed by those who guide you. And institutions like Kalakshetra guide your talent, make you original, and provoke you to use your Manodharma. I wish more success for such conferences like Kala Samprekshana. I thank the chairman, his wife, and Srimati Revati Ramchandran, Sri Janardhan, all the teachers and gurus here for inviting me here to have a wonderful morning. Thank you.
May I request our chairman, Sri S. Ramadurai, to felicitate Srimati Lakshmi Viswanathan.
Oh, that's nice.
Namaskaram. It's my pleasant duty to propose a vote of thanks today. At the outset, I would like to thank our chairman, Shri S. Ramadurai, for your constant guidance in all our endeavors. I would also like to thank the governing board members and the academic committee members for their constant support. I extend my thanks to our director, Srimati Revati Ramachandran, for her continuous motivation and so diligently and meticulously curating Kala Samprekshana 2022 Harmony Through Art. I'm thankful to all the participants who have given extraordinary presentations during the course of the 5th National Seminar Kala Samprekshana, thereby sharing their valuable knowledge benefiting art lovers and connoisseurs. Thank you all the participants. I would like to express a gratitude to our senior guru and veteran artist, Professor Shri A. Janardhanan. We are forever indebted to you, sir, for your continuous guidance and support. I would also like to thank Shri Pakala Ramdas, Principal, Rukmini Devi College of Fine Arts, and all the staff members for rendering help to make Kala Samprekshana 2022 possible. Thankful to all the senior gurus, alumni, eminent personalities who have been a constant support with your presence today. I would also like to thank my young colleague Raj Kamal for anchoring Kala Samprekshana 2022 on day 2 and day 3. I would like to express my thanks to our Deputy Director, Srimati Padmavati, Theatre Manager, Srimati Madhumati, Museum Coordinator, Srimati Sri Ranjani, Outreach Coordinator, Kumari Janani, for all the help and support for conducting Kala Samprekshana 2022. I would also like to thank Manaswini Ramachandran in helping in putting together the summary of the seminar report. Thank you once again to one and all of you who have gathered here today and were part of the Kala Samprekshana 2022 Harmony Through Art. Namaskara.
I want to thank Nandini Nagaraj for having so beautifully been with me in taking this conference forward. And of course, all the staff of our Rukmini Devi College of Fine Arts. I have to thank Manoharan, who was there on the sound. Thank you so much, because it has been quite a thing. We're having programs in the evening and the light. I think Nambu Kumar and others are there. Thank you so much. And video by Nandini videos, and a photo by Mr. Ganesh, and all the others who are here, and all the students, in spite of this being Christmas. And thank you all for being there. I'm sure you would have all enjoyed the sessions, and I expect to get a report of the sessions from all of you to your teachers, please. Thank you all so much, and thanks to each and every one of you who have come here today. Thank you. Namaskaram.